the recording. So, where is a bride to be found after the meeting and after, oh, probably a couple hours after the meeting?
Uh, Probably in her office. Probably
12 office?
12 office.
12 office. Door closed?
Door closed.
Lorna.
In that special way that Lauren usually does, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
So then it is a come on in, Lauren.
She opens the door and peeks in. Are you busy?
Nope, not busy.
She'll slide in and close the door behind her. And then find her seat that she has claimed her own. How are you?
What's up? I'll go first. I'm all right.
And I am good as well. I was thinking about what happened earlier. With the whole mist thing.
Yeah.
Did you feel anything?
No, nothing. Did you?
Well, I said I felt something weird.
Right. One sensation you couldn't describe.
That is the only sensation that I can say as accurately as possible. Well, I suppose it probably shoots down the theory that I was harboring as to the nature of the mists. That maybe in some small part that they were an extension of shock. But if you haven't felt anything, and I presume Ram hasn't either, then maybe not.
Potentially. And at the very least, it's not as much shock that would cause an effect like that.
What was that?
Either that or it's not enough shock to cause any sort of effect.
Okay. Elaborate.
It might, and this is a big kind of might, be possible that it might be exhibiting similar. What's the best way to describe it? It's possible that it might have some basis within the realm of shock, but not enough that it is actively exhibiting the same energy.
Yes.
Not enough that friend would be any more present than
You too.
outside, I presume.
Not enough.
Because you would know that, wouldn't you?
I would feel that, yes.
Now, when the few couple of times, or at least there's been like a jump or two before this conversation, I believe, that Rye stayed up for, right?
Yes.
Is it known by other people that she's staying up? I know that I think Lorne knows she's was staying up in the past, but I don't know. I don't remember if she knew that Rye was
She's
after that.
told a few people that she's staying up. She hasn't exactly did much to hide the fact that she's staying up, though. So
Okay. Oh, I suppose Lorne would know because she did caution Rye before to be careful.
yeah.
Are you going to be staying up again?
Yes.
Be careful, as always.
As always.
And say hello to friend for me. Lorne smiles at that sigh. Have you figured out their favorite color yet?
No, I haven't. Most of our conversations are either in moments of duress or are associated with feelings I'd rather not feel. Hasn't been able to cross my mind naturally.
Maybe
I'll ask.
first thing, maybe?
Yeah, I'll ask as soon as I enter this time for you.
Thank you. Does it cause you duress to speak to them?
Only the feelings.
Would it be better if you didn't?
Maybe. It's already too late now, though.
Oh, now, of course. But, I mean, do not feel pressed. And I will not press you any further.
It's fine, Lord, really. I can handle them.
Ciao. Gimme.
Of course. Of course. Good old Andrea 1-2. Ask something pressing and then roll empathy.
Also, holy shit, every time I roll empathy against Rye, my dice just ascend.
They have to. They know they need to perform. And they are up to the task. God, what were we doing? It's straight clout, right? Was that what we usually do?
Whatever you want.
God damn it.
Oh, hey, look, Chance is there.
Oh, hi,
Oh, Chance is here. Hello.
Hello, Jim. He's typing.
He's typing. It's great clout.
Plus, you have also this.
Ooh.
I don't think it's anywhere near now.
Oh, rub my little fly hands together.
So basically, normal we don't use the credibility system when it comes to player versus player stuff.
Yeah.
How it generally works is if the roll doesn't meet the credibility of the person, then the credibility is reduced by the successes of that roll. And so it's kind of like you're telling.
You just gotta slowly whittle them down.
Yeah, you gotta slowly whittle them down to get stuff. That's why we don't normally do it.
Hmm.
However, what I do normally rule is that for people that do have higher credibility TM, if the roll that was made it doesn't equal or is more than half of the credibility. So for in this case, your credibility is like what 15 Rye?
Something like that, yeah.
No.
Yeah, so because the 6 isn't anywhere near close to half of your credibility, technically this could be count as a fail. However,
Would it be our credibilities against each other? Because I do have a 9, so would that...
no, your
Okay.
credibility is not against each other.
Gotcha.
So so that's how it could be. And that's how I normally tend to do it for like the one-off roles between NPCs. That's why Melv is really hard to read and why Amanda's really hard to read.
Mm-hmm.
But Hash is super easy to read
Right.
because he has shit credibility. But generally, for player versus player stuff, it's just straight rolls against each other.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
treat it however you'd like.
Thumbs up.
Straight rolls. So we've been usually do.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, what are you looking for?
We were talking about friend, so when I was like, yeah, it's okay, no problem, it's fine. Yeah, how you feeling?
Hmm. Talking with friend and feeling friend makes Rye feel like a monster.
Oh no, Ryan.
Anything, it's why it's kind of like, it's not exactly like friend themselves and like that connection or relation to friend
But the ability to.
not even the ability though either, the action of like there's an aspect of their relationship as it is currently that through that makes Rye not feel good or want to properly associate. It's a kind of confusing of a feeling. It's like it's like akin to, I guess the best like example would be it's akin to like, okay, you have a friend and you like them,
Mm-hmm.
but a product of like your relationship to that person is something toxic or something that you find toxic. So you have to take that person with that toxicity or whatever, and it's never a good position to be in.
Okay. Then, Lorne doesn't act on it right now, but the effect of this is that I think in the future she may not ask Rye about friend.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
And also, like, the way that Lai's like handling it and stuff like that is the same as he's always handled, so you can assume this has been here since for a while.
Yeah. And Lorne has finally been able to figure out this particular little weight on Rye, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Or have a hint of it. Do you go alone when you go on your adventures?
No. Mindy's wanted to come. Celeste has insisted on being there despite their feelings of the otherwise, and Finn wants to go on the next one. I go on now, too.
Little Lorne frown at Finn. As I recall, the last time did not end well.
I didn't.
Although I know you are much more capable now. But the thing he hears, would that not be an issue?
That's precisely why he wants to go.
Sounds dangerous.
It definitely is.
What is the nature of the thing that he hears?
It's, from what I've gathered, an extremely old entity.
Eyebrow.
Very powerful.
Where did it come from?
Not sure. I assume it probably spawned a lot like all the other things in shock space. Born of abstract thought or imagination of some sort, without even knowing what or who it is. It slowly but surely gained its own identity, and through understanding itself, gained its own physicality and power and strength until it absorbed or began to thrive off of its environment and its own understanding of its world around it as it created itself and its environment. And now it's what it is now. A ginormous entity that essentially is hand in hand with shock itself.
Do such entities not generally stick to shock?
I'm sure there are many that do, but the fact that this one is powerful enough to not only feed off of people, but also potentially even influence them outside of it is a terrifying notion of its power, I'm sure.
It's like,
Shocked.
I'm sorry, that was like the complete opposite of the word. Not the opposite, but like Rye is like terrifying, and Lorne's mental word that popped up was mildly alarming.
Nice. It, fuck, what was I gonna say?
I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's good. It's fine. Absolutely fine.
I suppose it could be since Rye is empath, like she gets just those utterly calm, like maybe Lauren should be alarmed, but she isn't.
That's fine. She just continues with shock space is technically overlaid over our own reality. It's just that we're able to access it, I suppose, the other dimension, the other world, through shock space and our shock drives. It's like we're a whale. Actually, I don't know what a whale is. Whales are old and on Earth. It's like
Well, I mean, we know
There's-
about fish and
there's-
stuff.
There's
all fish
things
and
that-
stuff.
They're
Insert
There's
sci-fi fish that's like a whale that breaches the water at points in time.
There you go.
There's
Yeah.
something really beautiful about it's like a whale beat. I don't know what a whale is, but it's like a whale.
It's like a whale. I don't know. I know what a whale is. It's like we're breaching an ocean time and time again with our ships, causing slight intrusions again and again. Some entities, they don't know what it is, and they run away or they try and investigate while we're in shock space. And that's when we encounter shock entities with those that stay awake. Others understand that they're peering into something of a different reality and want to play with it or learn about it. Some have grown accustomed to feeding off of those small little breaches. Like Friend, who enjoys or is even born of it. Like Friend, who enjoys anxiety, fear, anguish.
And that is why they trouble you so.
What do you mean?
In speaking with them.
Sort of, yes. I can accept what Friend is and what they feed off of. I can accept that. But I know when they are thriving off of something, off of someone's anguish and pain and terror, off of someone's innate fears. I know how much they like it. I know how much it fuels them.
When they thrive, does it deplete from the source?
No, I don't think so.
Hmm.
If anything, I think they work to try and enhance the source.
Troubling.
It is. It's more troubling that when they enjoy it, it feels good. I don't want to feel good from someone's pain and suffering.
That is good. So these things, these entities, the ones that stick, maybe like, and like she makes a little squinty face as she is dredging the very depths of her Terran television documentary knowledge of nature.
Uh-huh.
Like barnacles on our ship.
Yes. There are some that do that. They wait around, they follow us because they can that's either they can semi-perceive points outside of shock space, or they are literally attached themselves to the object and they just pop up wherever we were to pop up. Or they hang over us, or they live within our thoughts, or however they do it. There's a multitude of ways it could possibly be, but they manifest and what they need to feed.
Would there not be such entities that would be representative of the other side of emotion? Happiness, elation, joy.
I believe so, yes.
A balance of sort.
Of a sort, though I don't know if any of them are keeping score.
I would not imagine they are. They exist as we exist. The negative and the good, I presume.
Yes, but as far as I know and can assume, the stronger the emotion, the better the entity feeds. I think they almost all try at some point to deal in extremes. So, extreme bouts of happiness and extreme bouts of fear. And it's more delicious for it.
They should learn moderation. Too much of a good thing is a bad thing.
Yeah. They've been alive for who knows how long. Their very existence is something that they've had to carve out for themselves from not knowing anything. I assume extremes are the only ways they understood how they can move forward in life. Ones that are powerful enough to send waves, that is.
Would this be the
Like-
case of the... I do not recall what it was, but the entity we saw when we were all in shock.
The black swirl, or
Either, I suppose. The thing that ate us and the thing that helped us out. Were they too born of such things?
I think all things in the shock are born of the same thing. I believe the black swirl is a demonstration of extreme possessiveness. It takes, it wants, even if it doesn't need, and what it can't have or what it thinks it is taken from it throws away. Though I'm sure if we came across its path again, it would surely want us back in its collection to tear apart and take something from.
If I'll
The other thing.
go ahead.
No, you go first.
Oh, I was just elaborating in my own way. That if all it knows is want, then that's all it would know.
Mm-hmm. The other thing I haven't thought on enough. It's bottom feeder, I suppose, feeding off of the scraps of what you want thing doesn't want anymore, or loses interest in. I don't know what it feeds off of, other than other entities, of course. Perhaps it's just hunger, but it didn't eat us, so it's not excess hunger.
Unless we weren't big enough.
Maybe it's pride.
What gives you that inkling?
Some people apparently saw it very differently from how I saw it, and some others saw it. Apparently it didn't look too bad, but I would beg to differ.
Trying to remember how Lorne saw it.
I think Chance had a picture of it, how people saw it, right?
I don't remember.
Which thing?
Yeah.
Hey, Chance.
Yeah.
For which thing?
The thing that helped us get out of the shock when we got pulled in by that big old black tornado.
Was that the Sphinx, or was that the other dude?
That was the Sphinx.
It's the Sphinx.
The
What did he-
Gravekeeper.
What did he look like to most people? Because I presume
To
Lorna
most-
fits under most people.
To literally basically everyone but the people that Rye, mind cracked. It looked like a withering mass of just impossibilities to a point where you couldn't look at it because it would hurt your head to look at. Especially when it moved, because it was like, reality itself was bending and shifting around it, and your mind was just like, look away.
Did it?
Um,
Oh, go ahead.
It's part of why I had people having to keep on roll to interact with it, because it was literally breaking your mind to look at.
Nice. Did it hurt in the same way that the bad lettering hurts?
That just gives like a bit of a headache, as
Okay.
if like something is, as if your mind understands what it is, but you just can't figure out why your mind understands what this is, but you don't understand what it is, so it's just like it's what you get like if you've been up all day studying, just process like information overload. The hurting from this one, it's not just so much like information overload, it's like constantly seeing a deja vu, constantly being told by someone that gravity isn't real, yet gravity is real, but you're seeing someone not be affected by gravity. It's just it's basically the paradox thing if you were a machine, except it's happening to you as a person.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Also, 1 second, I'll post images.
Yeah.
So this
You putting an OOC?
yeah. And there was never any image for the other one, for like how I described it to people that got mind breaked, because
Because that's not how I remember it. Never mind.
Am I getting shit mixed up? Oh, I remember now. Okay, yeah. So I lied. People who got mind break were the ones that had kept on rolling. Everyone else saw the Sphinx because your mind was able to process what the fuck was going on because you weren't under the effects. So I was getting my shit mixed up. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I just looked at my notes and I was just like, wait a second.
So
Um,
Rai saw the quivering mass
Ah.
of
Yeah,
undecipherable
I saw a
Yes.
shivering mass of horror.
Okay.
Everyone else saw a majestic, glorious sphinx of different geometric shapes and whatnot. Lots of triangles, things like that.
Oh yeah, Lorne was considering doing a beating project to try to capture that, but she never got that far with it.
But yeah. So yeah, I had to check my notes because I was like, wait a second.
Thank you.
Wait a second. Hana would have never interacted with it if he saw a monstrosity. So I checked my notes.
That's
That's
true,
true, because
bestie.
Hana was like absolutely mortified. I remember.
He liked the Sphinx, thank you.
No, he liked the Sphinx, but you were scared of being in shock. Like, just I remember that your cowardice was like ah.
But yeah,
Well,
so that's the
depends.
abomination that Rai saw.
Okay.
And Rai also got to see that, like, when it moved, it left an after trail of itself.
Yum.
Yeah.
Well, Lorne describes the less terrifying Sphinx thing that she saw.
Yeah, that's not at all what it looked like to me.
Do they all look different?
If your mind can't comprehend what's in front of you, it'll try and put something down that it can comprehend. Or it'll just hurt your head, I guess.
Or it'll just what?
Or it'll just hurt your head, I guess.
Hmm.
I got a mass of mouths and flesh, and after images of such.
Well, that doesn't sound very pleasant at all.
Hmm. You definitely got the better end of the stick on that deal.
I think so. Do they all look terrifying? As such, your description?
Not all of them. They all look very different, though. It's a combination of... well, it's mostly what they see themselves as. How they understand themselves and what they think they need to do. And of course, the more they understand themselves, the more they can impose their own sentience and their own free will and how they act and what they say and stuff like that.
Since you have more experience with this, I would like to know your opinion on something.
And what?
Of my prior experience. Now that you are more aware of circumstances.
By all means.
When I had spoken prior of the dead and of Calm Cabal,
Your encounter?
Mm-hmm. I only ask because Harkin's claim of ghosts in the mists brought my memory back.
Right.
Which I must state I do not think he is entirely accurate in his assumption, but who is to say who is correct?
Right on. Well, I can say in specifics with your shock experience, from what I've learned, some objects that are meaningful to people can carry, well, can carry more than just their shock representation into shock space. They can, I assume, hold feelings that are passed on to them. Can even be used to transport people to where those feelings are strongest.
Like a ship and its crew.
Like a ship and its crew. It's possible that what you experienced did and maybe was whatever remains of the thoughts of the crew during whatever happened, or even after. It's also possible that an entity that was being birthed from the crew itself took on their identities. Kind of like imprinting.
But it wasn't just that crew. It was different generations of such.
Then I would say it's their feelings that are attached to the ship then. There's probably going to be a version of us left here on the ship. I wonder if it's going to be the happy times or the sad times.
I'm reminded of an old tradition of flaming boats being sent off in the oceans. I've only read of them.
You think we should do that when we retire?
Hmm?
Send the ship flaming into shock space?
What'd you say?
Do you think we should do that when we retire? Send the ship flaming off into shock space?
No. Irasi deserves much better. It is a good ship. And she emphasizes this fact with, like, you know, a pap to the wall.
It is. And people must have felt for it very dearly if they've left their mark in the shock.
People feel strongly of their homes. Is this place not like a second home to you? Or a first?
I guess.
Hey, guess what?
Yeah, I thought so.
Had that air to it. Damn it!
Get
Damn
fucked!
it! Damn it!
Get fucked! Putting a stop on your win streak.
Fine, you win this round, Rye. I was having a roll and you took my dinner tray and you threw it on the ground.
Do it on the ground.
I threw the rest of the cake too.
My dad's not a phone. Duh. I know I have come to think of this place as a second home for myself. She looking at Ryan.
Sorry, what was the last thing you said?
Nice.
So sorry.
Lauren said she has come to think of this place as a second home for herself.
Well, that's good. I mean, I would hope. Otherwise, the impassioned speech of following your flock wherever they may go would sound a little, well, deaf, I guess.
My flock, my family. She goes to snake a long arm around Rye.
Describe it like that.
Because she's
This
Lorne.
wiggly noodle coming over at me.
Maybe. I mean, as wiggly as Lorne gets, I guess.
I mean, I think Lauren, you're kind of pretty wiggly.
Probably could, yeah.
I'm glad you have that.
Has she successfully looped an arm around Ryan?
Yes, you have.
Okay, good.
You gotta tell me about that arm. Is that arm?
It wraps around you. It ties itself into a knot. Cartoon logic.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, the hug.
The hug is successful.
And then she plays with Rye's hair.
You are allowed to do so. Rye allows this to happen.
I can't think of much else that Lauren will say, so.
Just hang out then.
Yeah, they hang out. She plays with her hair, maybe braids it.
Go for it.
Cool. Here we go. Even does like the fancy thing of pulling out from her magical stash of beads that I'm sure she has beads on her somewhere all the time.
Oh, of course.
Start putting some beads on like a couple strands. Jinglies.
Always with the jinglies.
And there we have it.
Mm-hmm.